course, if OSHA saw me do that, they would do a backflip.
Hi everybody, I'm Mark Mills. We're back in the field again. Today, you're going to learn how to make a jamb extension. See right here where there's a space between the end of this stock door and the end of the sheetrock here where your casing's going to begin. Now this is a complicated thing. If you're not familiar with circular saw and measuring and all that good stuff, you're going to want to go on my channel and subscribe, of course, so you can get all this stuff as it comes out and learn all the other stuff you need to know, circular saw, all that. But I'm going to explain this to you as simple as I can. Now I went ahead and shot this casing with a couple nails just right here so I can measure my top measurement and my bottom measurement. Now why I measure at the top and at the bottom is because it's different at the top than it is at the bottom. Now you might ask yourself, why is that so? Why is it not perfectly straight? Because in a house, nothing's perfectly straight. You just work with what you got and make everything go. So when you're doing this on your house, this is what you're going to come into contact with. A different measurement here and here. So you take your measurement here, there, and then you measure the total length of it from top to bottom. And then I will tell you the exact point that it needs to be this measurement and the exact point that it needs to be that measurement.
As always in all my videos, don't take nothing out here I say seriously. It's just for entertainment, a video for entertainment value only. You're going to see me ripping this with a circular saw. A lot of people rip things like this with a table saw. In this situation, since it's one measurement here and a different measurement down here, you can't rip it with a table saw because the table saw is meant for straight cuts. And this is going to be a slant cut. Now, if you don't know how to rip with a circular saw, I have a video on that. You won't even need a guide. Go on and check it out. If you like it, subscribe. Now this right here is my total length, 81 5/8. So you see where that line is the exact point where I mark 1 inch, which is my bottom width. So you don't want to mark it down here or up here. It needs to be 81 inches at this exact spot. Now if I had an 8-foot level or something, I would use that to mark this line, but I don't. It's chalk line. Of course, it's going to get chalk all over my newly painted wood, but it'll be all right. I'll paint it again if I have to. I'll take it long. Taking this past my cut so that I don't cut the whole board off back here, because the rest of this board I can use for something else over here. You'll see what I mean later on. Go all the way, so I'm just going to take my square and extend it. You already know from watching my other videos, I'm going to set my depth 1/8 of an inch below whatever you're cutting. If you ain't an expert, you should be unplugging your saw. Is I just pick up while I'm cutting and go. That's very dangerous. So somebody that's not a professional might end up cutting herself. So what you're going to want to do is just move it like I just told you. Before you start up again, pull back a little bit so it gets full speed before you get into your cut. Now we're ready to cut the jamb extension for the other piece. Now you can't really go off this side because it's not square, you know, it's a cut, and then it's different over here than it is over there. You jump over here, or you can adjust it. You can see you got about 6 1/4 right there. And 5 1/2 right here, more or less. So you can mark 5 1/2 here, pulling off of that factory edge, and then the same thing over here. Snap your line and then cut it, and you got something that's straight enough to where it'll be good after you caulk it. Jamb extension here, so I'm just gonna pop it like this. Now notice when I'm shooting with this trim gun, I don't keep my fingers anywhere near where I'm nailing, because it can hit a nail and come back out and go right through your finger. I'm just pulling this flush right here. That means that from here to here it's pretty much even. Of course, I can't do that right here because of this thing, so I'm just going to go back up and knock that about 1/8 out like it is here. You need to knock your wood around, use a shim or something so you don't put a beauty mark in it. Now we've got to cut a little notch in this jamb extension. We're going to be doing something with this circular saw that you probably shouldn't be doing. It's pretty dangerous, but carpenters do this kind of thing all the time. We're just going to hold this guide back like this, and I'm going to pull the trigger and cut this notch out. Of course, before I pull the trigger, I make sure I got my fingers off and away from the blade. Now, if you had one of them saws with a button on it, you could not do this because you can't push the button while you got your fingers holding the blade back in the saw in a crazy way. Of course, if OSHA saw me do that, they would do a backflip. All right, come on in and look at this. That's a perfect notch right there. No jigsaw required. If you're a homeowner, you might want to get you a jigsaw because you cut your fingers off doing that. Jamb extension on there and the casing shot on over top of it. I'm gonna let the cameraman get in close so you can see what all's happening. I'm sure you can tell that my cuts aren't perfect and there's some gaps in this stuff. But what's going to set it off is the caulk. That's what's going to make this job here look flawless. So if you'd like to see how to caulk and how to make your job look flawless, then tune in for the next episode. All right, I hope this video helped y'all out some. Y'all be careful out there. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate when y'all do that. Bye-bye now.